Hi, my name is Joshua Etchegoyen, and I am going to be doing my presentation or project on equality and other groups, focusing on gay rights. So here we have is the overview of my presentation. I will be doing my presentation on the gender gap and inequality of other minorities with a focus on gay rights. And here we have is a picture to your right, which is the Stonewall Riot, which happened in 1969, which was a pivotal moment for the gay rights movements. And here we have is a little historical background. So, lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people in America face discrimination in their daily lives, while more states every year work to pass laws to protect LGBTQ people. We also continue to see state legislators advancing bills that target transgender people, permit local protections, and allow the use of religion to discriminate. So here we have is the anti-trans bills. These measures target transgender and non-binary people for discrimination, such as barring access to or even criminalizing the use of appropriate facilities, including restrooms, restricting transgender students' ability to fully participate in school and sports, barring health care for transgender youth, allowing religiously motivated discrimination against trans people, or making it more difficult for trans people to get identification documents with their name and proper gender. Next, we have some common questions and LGBTQ rights. So, our first question we have here is: can an employer discriminate against me because of my sexual orientation or gender identity? So, employers with 15 or more employees are prohibited by the Title VII of the 1964 Civil Rights Act from discriminating on the basis of sex. Some courts have ruled that the Title VII also bans discrimination based on sexual orientation or gender identity. The Supreme Court recently announced it will take up this question in 3 cases. In addition, many states and cities have laws that ban this kind of discrimination. And here we have a picture to our right is a protest that was happening to protect LGBTQ workers. So then we have another question here. Can a landlord refuse to rent to me based on my sexual orientation? So, the Federal Fair Housing Act prohibits sex discrimination by most landlords. We believe this should also be interpreted by the courts to protect LGBTQ people. State and local laws where you live may also bar discrimination. Housing discrimination against people with HIV or AIDS, or people perceived to have HIV or AIDS, is also illegal under the Fair Housing Acts. Protection against the disability of discrimination. Housing providers that receive funding from the Department of Housing and Urban Development or have loans insured by the Federal Housing Administrations, as well as lenders insured by the FHA, are subject to the HUD's Equal Access Rule, which bans discrimination in HUD programs on the bias of sexual orientation or gender identity. So here we have another question is, am I protected from discrimination in public accommodations like shops and restaurants? So unfortunately, there is no federal law that bans discrimination based on sexual orientation, or gender identity in public accommodations like restaurants, theaters, and other businesses. However, state and local laws where you live may ban this kind of discrimination. And here we have a picture to your left. It's Not About the Cake, which was a protest happening, I believe, in 2018. And then here we go. Does the law protect my right to use the restroom consistent with my gender identity? So, state and local laws that prohibit discrimination based on gender identity or expression should protect transgender people's rights to use the restrooms and locker rooms that match their gender identity. We believe that laws that ban sex discrimination should also be interpreted by the courts to protect transgender people. While federal law in this area is uncertain, most courts address this question to have found in favor of transgender people being able to access facilities most consistent with their gender identity. As well, in some places, state and local non discrimination laws are much clearer about transgender people's rights to use gender identity appropriate public restrooms. Many businesses, universities, and other public places are converting their restrooms to all gender spaces. And here we have a little picture to our right that entails United for Trans Equality. And here we have are some current gay right foundational cases. So these are some cases that I thought are pretty recent and that are going towards the cause of this. So we have the Obergefell v. Hudges in 2015, which was a case about same-sex marriages. And then we have the Masterpiece Cake Shop, which had happened in 2018, which you had saw previously in one of the slides about the protest. This was against religion, against same-sex couples. And then we have the Bostock v. Clayton County, which actually happened in 2020, not too long ago. And it was about gay rights against employment discrimination on sexuality. And then finally, we have this case, which was Fulton v. City of Philadelphia, which actually happened in 2021, so not that long ago as well. And this case was about gay rights for adopting foster children with same-sex couples. And there we have a conclusion on my presentation today. I hope you guys found this very informative. Thank you again. My name is Joshua Etchegoyen, and thank you.